to day 14 of 21 days of yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's intent for practice is happiness. So these asanas are supposed to boost your mood and allow you to feel comfortable in your body and really generate that happiness from within. So we're going to begin grounding our feet in about hip width apart, toes and heels both really stable, and bringing up to our hips, making sure they're neutral, right centered, not too forward, not too back, and then stacking everything else on top of it, and then bringing our hands above our head, maybe having them at prayer, breathing into the nose, and then with the exhale, really lifting as we breathe in and exhale, bending back, and a slight back bend. 3, 2, 1, and then back forward, and then lifting up and over the right body to stretch the left side. 3, 2, and 1, back centered, and then back to the right, lifting up and over, stretching that right side for 3, 2, and 1, back centered. Maybe just doing the counter of that to wake up our spine. Bringing back the heart center, right, and begin shifting the weight from the right leg, the left to the right leg, stabilizing, maybe trying to have all toes down, lifting up that left foot, then opening it out, and then placing it either on the bottom of the left foot, on the ankle, right, like a kickstand, or maybe you want to already start bringing it up all the way to above our knee on our thigh, and pressing that in, and holding that for 3, 2, 1, and then out, down, down, right? And now doing the same thing for the other side, shifting the weight on the left, grounding your pinky toe, your big toe, lifting up that right leg, opening it up, and then maybe placing it on the thigh, lifting it up, really pressing into the thigh, right? Bending the knees and holding that for 3, 2, or if you are at the kickstand, that's totally fine as well. 1, release, and close, right? And then we're going to begin by just opening our legs up about wider than hip width, and then bending our knees. So we're now in goddess pose. Ooh, for me, I kind of like my feet just turned out. I'm fit bow-legged, right? Just really sinking into it. My hips are really tight. And just breathing here, opening it up, not hunching my back too much, but still having my back engaged, elongated, and then just swaying here, really swaying as I deepen here, and then leaning my shoulder forward and my body so that I'm really pressing this left foot back and opening up here in this goddess pose for 3, 2, and 1, and I'm doing the same thing for the right, and lifting and shifting that shoulder forward, sitting down in this pose for 3, 2, 1, and then just rocking that out. Ooh. Maybe I'm gonna step my feet up a little bit more and do some side lunges, or maybe placing my hand down as I straighten this left leg and really opening up this right. So this is open, keeping this straight, maybe using my hand here to really press this right leg open, holding this for 3, 2, 1, and then walking my hands now to the other side. Sorry, there was a fly in here. Walking my hands to the other side in side lunge. Right, pressing my hands again, opening that up for 3, 2, 1. Right, and then maybe just walking again, bouncing left and right to really just wake it up, right? Having some fun. And then now having my hands down into this wide forward fold, and then really just pressing my body so that as I'm trying to bring my chest through, right? So really trying to bring my chest through my legs, placing my hands on the ground, really pressing down to support me and pull me through for 3, 2, 1. And I'm actually going to just slowly bring my feet a little bit closer, and then get into a yogi squat by placing my butt down, and then having my hands right on my knees, and really pressing my hands out to really open up this squat, right? If you have a block or a pillow, it doesn't have to be as deep as me. Maybe your yogi squat is here. Whatever you're comfortable with, right? It's waking up our hips. And then if you're able to bring yourself to the ground in a seated, wide-legged seated pose. Ooh, right? And you're still stacking, being tall in this pose. And breathing here. Maybe pointing or flexing the feet to wake up our hamstrings, waking up our legs. And then bending this right leg, right, so that it is pressing onto the side, or not, and lifting up and over into a side stretch. And maybe you can have it here, right? Or maybe even trying to deepen that stretch by forward fold to the side, really bringing your chest down, but not in a hunch, still keeping that back straight, flexing the toes, grabbing either the toes, the heels, the ankles, calf, whatever comfortable, and really bringing chest to thigh and holding this for 3. Breathing in, 2, and 1. And maybe doing a side stretch again, placing this left arm in front and trying to grab your toes with your right arm for 3, 2, 1. That kind of reminds me of my cheer days, right? And doing the same for the other side. So for some reason this thigh is so tight for me. I don't know why. Right? Just really going this and then lifting up and over or going down. As you can see, that is very different on my right side than my left side when it comes to this left thigh. But I'm still attempting to bring chest to thigh, knee to nose, without hunching my back. But I could be lower if I hunch, but I don't want to. Holding this for 3, 2, 1, and then once again, trying to touch my toes for 3, 2, 1, release, right? And then shaking that out. Shaking that out. Now I'm making my way to the ground, right? I guess I'll do some unconventional patterns here. And so I'm going to do a few back bends, right? So begin by first having my hands by my side, right? By my side, palms up. And I'm going to begin by first lifting my chest up the mat, really trying to get my ribs off the mat as much as possible, really waking up that mid back and opening up my chest in this locus. And then releasing. And now the next time I'm going to do it, I'm going to loose and bring my leg with me, right? So I'm lifting my chest up and now squeezing my legs together. If I have a block and squeezing, lifting both up so I can lift my side as much as possible. For 3, 2, 1, and release. Bringing chin or cheek to mat. Right, and then one last one. Really squeezing, lifting the chest all the way up. Squeezing the thighs off the mat. For 3, you got it. 2, 1, and release. Ooh. And I'm going to place my hands in front of me, tuck my toes, shift my tailbone up and back into be my first downward dog of the day. My hands are between my back. Just pedaling, walking that out. Ooh, that feels right. Looking forward, walking my feet to my hands, forward fold, and really just pressing down into bringing my chest to thigh, really waking up my hamstrings, walking this out, and then placing my hands back down on the mat if it's not, stepping out into this plank pose, holding this, shifting forward, lowering to the belly, and then hands by my side, lifting up at the cobra, as if I'm trying to push my heart through and my ribs, really lifting it off, really bending that back, holding it for 3, 2, 1, release, tuck toes, lift up and back into downward dog. Ooh. Pedal that out, lift up that right leg, 3-legged dog, and then step it in between and bring it down for a low lunge. Low lunge, really deep and sinking in that pose here. Opening up your hips, making sure they're still squared in front of you. And hands can be on your knees, just holding this for 3. Stacking my chest over my hips, 2, and 1. Bringing my hands back down, and then walking them back as I shift my hips back, straightening this front leg, right? Flexing my toes, right? Now I really want to deepen this half split, and then bringing my face to my toes in a sense, right? Chest to side, and holding this for 3. Flexing my feet, 2, and 1. Walking back up into that low lunge. And this time, maybe try with my hands on my knee, right? I'm sitting up, lifting that back foot up, right? Lifting it up. Really to deepen that strength, knowing that my hips are squared. I just want to deepen that. Or you can even try doing a bit of a high crescent and leaning back. Holding this for 3, 2, 1. And then safely getting out of that, back into tabletops here. And then lifting my tailbone up and back into downward dog, pedaling that out. And doing the same for the left. Lifting up in that 3-legged dog, stepping it in between, getting into my low lunge, right? Lifting up. Some sides may be more stable than the others. Really pressing off, stacking my hips, my ribs, all of that. So I'm not leaning forward. I'm really deepening and sinking this hip opener. On this for 3, 2, 1. Placing my hands down, shifting my hips back, really flexing the foot, lifting up and over, trying to put my face to my toes as much as possible in this half split for 3, 2, 1, and then walking it back into this low lunge. Right, hands back on my knee, maybe bringing up that back foot, lifting it up the ground, right, just to get that stability. And then maybe even doing a crescent low lunge, really arching and bending that back. For 3, 2, 1, okay, being safe. And lifting up and back. Walking that up. So now, down on my knees. Alright, so I'm just going to walk my hands forward into puppy pose. Personally, that has been making me happy is getting in this pose. Really bringing my chest down, hands up, elbows up. In prayer pose. And holding this for 3, 2, 1. Safely walking back out, back into tabletop, and then maybe doing some cat and cow, lifting and opening my chest, tilting my elbows up. Cow, inhaling, exhale, concaving, tilting my tailbone down, folding my heart in, going back and opening up my heart, lifting up my tailbone, tilt down, concaving my heart, and then just wiggling that out. Okay. Here in this tabletop, I can just practice some tiger or balancing poses, right? So really just pressing and lifting up that back foot, really pressing in, making sure my fingers are grounded in both left and right, my foot, my knees right underneath my hips, and I'm really holding this strong press on that back foot, and then I can lift up my left arm, pulling it forward, right? And then maybe bending that right leg and then bringing that hard back hand back and holding it up, right? Kicking, pulling that back foot up, holding this for 3, 2, 1, release, and down. And then recentering myself and doing the same on the other side. So pressing back that left foot, and really kicking and then lifting up that right arm, pressing through, bending that left, and then bringing my hand to my foot, really pressing, kicking it, really trying to help my center myself, not trying to be to one side or the other. Holding this for 3, 2, 1, release, and down, and then lifting up and back into that downward dog. Let that out. Bend, unbend, and then back to our knees. And then we're going to lay on our back as we move and bring our hands to our knees to our chest. It's squeezing. And then here we can either grab the outside of our left foot with our left hand, right foot with our right hand, and get into happy baby. So really lifting up. And then your knees can be bent, or you can maybe straighten one leg and then alternate between straight and left, and really just having fun with it, right? Being happy. I always love this pose because when I see a baby in this pose, they're truly enjoying it. And so just opening up your hips and your thighs, waking all that up, right? Just circulating, bringing it down, whatever feels comfortable to you. Ooh, feels so good to me, right? In my body, may not be for you. And just trying it out and doing some leg circles or knee circles. Okay. And if you have a wall, you can place your feet up on the wall. If not, then just holding them. Hands down, really just holding this pose. Just being in an inversion. Sometimes it really easy and take the stretch. Allow our body to relax. And definitely do a little bit longer if you have a wall. And then maybe bend your knees. And then bring it down as we get into Shavasana. Right, just really releasing your shoulders, letting your fingers curl naturally, feet turn out. Relaxing the tension in your eyebrows, your jaw. Bringing space between your feet and just sinking and releasing. With each exhale, just letting go of tension in whatever body part. As you get deeper. And I invite you just to think about what comes up in you of happiness. I believe that happiness can be a choice. And so just intensively and actively choosing happiness every day. Finding little joys throughout the day. I think that allows us to keep going. Maybe even this. I invite you to choose happiness every day. And allow yourself to be happy. Right? We deserve to be happy. We deserve to be loved. And we deserve to have joy. Take some last deep breath here into the nose. And then releasing everything. Let's bring movement to your fingers and toes. Maybe bend the knees, drop it to one side, and safely move into a seated position. Bringing hands to heart center, palms together, The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you so much for joining me. See you tomorrow. I don't know how tired. I hope this is 7 minutes all time. 20 minutes.